I said, oh, the money. What money? She said, I'm gonna tell you something, but you have to promise to never tell a soul. I trust you. I said, yeah, you can trust me. You can tell me anything. Of course. Yeah, you can trust me, baby. You remember the day, the incident, and all the details, and when police were about to be called and you were about to lose everything and this and that? I said, yeah, I remember. What about it? She said, listen, you don't tell nobody. She did it. I said, she did it. She said, yeah, she did it. And she was so happy and proud about it. And when she told you that she's gonna go to check on her family, she came straight here, bragging and, talking about it and saying that she's gonna be going with you from now on everywhere because you are interested and you go to interesting places. You know what I'm saying? In that stormy moment, when all my feelings were lost and all my organs were numb, and all my mind and brain all intertwined together, throwing up. You know what I'm saying? In that specific moment when I saw hell and heaven at the same time, when God and Lucifer were sitting there drinking coffee, when all the emotions stopped emotioning, I had two questions. That's it. I'm very simple. You know what I'm saying? I'm not that complicated. Where did she hit it? She said, in her vagina. Inside her vagina. I said, okay. That's interesting. Why didn't you tell me? She said, well, she was scared. And her friend is dangerous. I said, oh, how dangerous? She said, she's crazy. She's crazy. And I said, you didn't tell me? She has my keys. She goes to my place. And you didn't tell me she's crazy? Right. And you were scared? And that's why you didn't want to tell me that she stole that poor woman money and she hid it in her vagina. She said, yeah, I was a little bit scared. And she wanted them to call the cops and to stop the whole process and everything that you're working so hard for and towards goes to shit. She said, yeah, obviously. How about you? She said, I don't know. I was not there. I have no idea. And I'm pretty sure, knowing them very well, she took a small piece of the pie. And that is for sure. But here is the kicker. When I started seeing things from a whole different perspective, they were telling me, they were showing me. It was right there in my fucking face the whole time, and I never saw it the way that I was supposed to be seeing it. And I never believed it because I'm like, no, they do that to people. they won't be doing this to me, I'm their friend. And this is the smallest pieces of the tip of the iceberg, because the thing that I discovered later on, the thing they said and they did and they tried to do, why? I mean, the why, I told you many times, I am the fucking why person. Envy, jealousy, secret, animosity. Why? If hatred, jealousy, sabotage, and envy, animosity were people, they were two people. Sabotage. Why Sakina? Why? What is it so special about Sakina? Why does she think that she is all that? No, we gotta fuck her up. I'm telling you, the things that I discovered afterward. Now, the question. Was I mad? Yeah, obviously. Isn't it a natural reaction for a human? Yeah, I was mad. But I was not mad at the vagina girl. No. I was not mad at the vagina girl. I was mad at the friend. 7 years or something. The friend that I treated with decency like a fucking decent human, the friend that I trusted with everything, the friend that I shared everything with, the friend that I sat on the floor with. I was mad at that friend. But guess what? That friend was not a friend. I was a friend, but she was not a friend. She was a foe in disguise. You know what I'm saying? Because she told me and showed me how much she fucking hated me. And I just didn't want to believe it. I just didn't want to see it. And I was like, no, no, she just, she doesn't know. And this. Fucking excuses. You know what I'm saying? And then it hit me. I was mad at myself because I just reversed the whole situation. The mirror, the smokes and mirrors. I was mad at myself because I did that to myself. I put myself in jeopardy. I put myself in danger. I put myself in those situations. I am Sakina. I'm 1m70. A college graduate. School in a book smart. Speaking 14 different languages. Having, at the time, an amazing job with thousands and millions of paths of potential that I could have taken. But I said, no, come on. I am the girl from the dumpster. So no, I'm gonna just sit on the shit, treat myself like piece of shit, and allow myself to trauma bond with shitty people. That's what it was. It was all me, and it was all for me. And at the same time, it was all of my choices, my decisions, my free will to see myself from a shitty lens and allow myself to put myself in a very limited, scary, shitty situations with shitty people. It was me. So that's why I was like, you know what? It's all me. So yeah, I'ma take it. And that's about it. Oh, there is something that I forgot to mention. I paid her back. I paid her back, of course. She made a scene and a fuss about her money. She wanted her money back ASAP, like yesterday, because that's her money and she worked so hard for her money. So yes, I respect that. From a woman to woman, I respect that. So yeah, I paid her back. Well, thank you for your services. You and the friend. I deserved it. All of it. Everything. It was exactly what I was at the time, and it was exactly what I deserved at the time. The fool is the only journey. Remember? The world will treat you the same way you see and you treat yourself. Period. So now, knowing what you know, I want you to go make better choices, better decisions, better assumptions, better friends. One of the wounds that I had to deal with and heal, I said it many times, healing is not for the weak. Happy healing, y'all.